pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm here. Randy.
Yep.
Dave is not here, but he should be coming in anytime. Lindsay.
Present.
Lewis.
Present.
Jason.
Here.
Nick. Alicia.
Here.
Nitra. Everybody except Dave. Okay. 2 meetings last month, April 1st and April 22nd. I need separate motions for those meeting minutes.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from April 1st.
One second. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's going to carry 4-0. And then a motion on the April 22nd special session.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 22nd meeting.
Second. That motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that's going to carry 4-0. All right. Payroll signing, we'll get that done. Yeah. If it makes you feel better, I will
Yes,
do
thank
it
you so
now.
much.
All right, she's looking through the payroll. All right, Kat, you're up first.
No, you got.
Well, I got
sign the
more.
Claims for January and
Oh,
February
jeez.
versus bills that she paid.
Just me or everybody?
I'm gonna say all of you guys that are here, please. It should just be that top paper.
Okay.
The bottom, underneath of it is just the list of bills that she paid in January and February.
Is this something new you're doing?
No, something that Paula always did, it just maybe, I'm not sure if it didn't get done or what, but January and February are combined because that is how, Susie combined them. So at next month's meeting, I'll have, March and April's,
Okay.
hopefully separated out.
Okay. You got anything else for us, son? Okay,
That's
Kat.
it, you can move on, sorry, Kat.
Okay, so presenting to you tonight, there was, the meeting last month that went before the APC for the 4 parcels that, Fred 47 LLC wanted to have rezoned. The APC has forwarded to you a favorable recommendation, so it's up to you guys if you want to go ahead and proceed with that rezoning from I-1 to R3.
Which property was that again?
Those are the lots 35, 36, 41, and 42 in Susanna Earhart's edition.
On
Common
South
Street.
Elm?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. I had it sent to you along with this packet to look over. The staff report, which give hopefully helped you follow along with why we recommended to the board, staff's recommendation to the board to send a favorable recommendation. And then also there was a couple of objector notices that were sent to us. Hopefully you've seen those as well, and I did forward those over to you. There was a couple of people here in town that were objecting to that.
Sure.
To be rezoned. And then as
Do you have a hard copy of that? I'm having a hard time getting in.
Sure.
What was the main objection? You know, was there consensus?
They preferred for them to stay I-1.
Yeah, but I mean, why?
So the first one here, this one, it says hereby formally object to the rezoning of the 4 parcels on South Elm Street, Mulberry, from I-1 to R3. It is to result in construction of any, they were concerned about these parcels turning into duplexes or rental properties, as opposed to single-family dwellings that people would actually buy and live in, that own the properties. So
But we said we wanted single-family residences, right?
correct.
And the R3 zoning doesn't allow for duplexes without a special exception and doesn't allow for apartments at all.
Yeah, R3 would only, it's straight out permitted use for single-family dwellings. If they did a duplex, they'd have to come through to get a special.
So, yeah, I
exception.
agree with that objection, but it's null and void because that's not gonna
But they
happen.
said they would support it if it's just going to be like single family homes. So
Did you read the?
yes,
Okay.
yep.
I wrote that if that's the concept.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, feel free to.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I don't mind the idea of single-family residences, but having been associated with that area for many years, I've never really seen rentals or anything that have really had any decent tenants living only a house away from the railroad. I bought several properties in that area and torn them down because they were drug homes. They were, pretty rough and whatnot. Like I said, if they're single-family dwellings that are going to be purchased by individuals, that's fine. But if they're going to be rentals, I've never really had any kind of a good relationship with any renters. It seems like a lot of the places around there are almost weekly rentals, and so I'd much rather see single-family residences that are owned by families than to see, the potential for low income.
Yeah, when he came to us, probably last summer, late summer, early fall, we told him we don't want storage barns, we don't want apartment complexes, duplexes, we don't want any of that. We want single family homes to be built there that will increase property values from all the people because there's a lot of people that are flipping homes right in through that area. So, with this addition, getting rid of that, because that area is just all grown up with weeds and rundown buildings and stuff like that. So getting all that out and putting in brand new homes, I think it's gonna really make things look nice down on that end of town.
I'm all right with that as long as I heard somewhere that if those homes weren't sold in a certain amount of time, that they would be rented out. And like I said, the quality of individual renters in that area has never been good. And I think a lot of it has to do with the Ponton's place, the railroad tracks, the grain elevator, and that sort of thing. So
I think you're a realtor. Speak to this. How long do you think a brand new home in this town will last on the market?
Priced right, not long. What are you give me kind of like specs on what you're.
Hoping to be at 275, we may end up in the low threes. Think 1,500 to 1,700 square foot house.
Okay.
That's going to be 2-story.
So even if that does go to rental, the value of the house is going to keep the mortgage well above what we would consider a slum property.
I mean, if it was a rental, it would not cash flow. So that would be
Right.
the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. So does that give you a little bit of peace of mind? Because in order to get a cash flow on that kind of property, you're gonna have to get $300 or $3,500 a month. Just throwing a number out there. You're gonna be well above what anybody in this town's gonna pay for rent. So I think.
are we talking, how many homes are we talking on those 4? I know that
One
there
on
was
each,
talk
right?
about exemption or having variances and whatnot to put in I heard at one time 4 duplexes, so.
No, no duplexes, 4 single-family homes.
4 single-family homes.
We've been against duplexes and apartments and
Mhm.
storage barns from the beginning. That's, I don't know where you heard that from, but it wasn't from anybody on this council.
Okay,
So,
well. Like I said, I'm just concerned because the renters in that area have just never really been, we've argued that, fought that for many years. Used to be a trailer park across the street from.
yeah, well, hopefully you don't have renters there anymore and it's all
I think these are
people
gonna
buying
be,
properties.
yeah, these are gonna be too nice to be able to be rented out
Okay.
feasibly. Nobody's gonna make any money if they try and rent them out.
Build off one at once.
I don't, you gonna build all 4 of them at once?
We'll probably do 1 or 2, right, 2 at the most, 2 at a time.
I'm just thinking about construction traffic around the house.
Not at 2 houses more than the area.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll have some vacant lots we can be in, plus we own the buildings over there that. If anyone
Connor
has any,
buildings.
yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone has any
I'm surprised
ideas
those-
for those, we'd be happy.
Surprised those haven't fallen down.
We're open to anyone's ideas.
There was another letter that we received as they were not, they were opposing this as well. Their reason was basically that they felt that the current zoning for light industrial had been workable for them. And their neighbors and current and previous have worked to keep the corner area peaceful, maintain properties and discouraged episodes of mischief.
Are those people here that wrote that letter? Do you want to talk to it about it?
Oh, that's exactly what it is. My concern is more people in that area. Just what Paul said, for some reason, that location just draws. Mischievous is the most polite word I know. Your officer can give you more details. So I just think that when it was light industrial, and I don't know why something didn't come in there. I just think that's working better. I think we're just asking, but I live in community, so I have to do. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I absolutely positively do not want that alley closed. That would abut my garage slab. Also, the electric company has worked on those poles before. So
And we're
I don't
not-
think we approved to close
haven't
any
approved to
alleys.
close any alleys.
I couldn't see how you could get 4 in there without closing the alley, but if you can, that's great.
So there's 2 parcels on each side of the road, and
Yeah.
those, because they were beside each other in common ownership, the other approval that he received on April the 22nd from the Board of Zoning Appeals is because now to separate those 4 parcels, to make 4 separate buildable lots, because once you separate those, they did not meet your minimum lot size here for Mulberry.
They were like barely under, I think, weren't they?
Just barely,
Yeah,
yeah, just barely under 10,000. So he has went through, he did get approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals for the lot size variances. That's what you all gave a recommendation for last year, so that it could be single family dwellings on each lot.
But it's not closing the alley, correct? It does
No,
not.
there
yeah,
wasn't
okay.
anything in there to close the alley.
Okay.
So the Board of Zoning Appeals did grant him the lot size variance, as long as the rezoning is approved. If the rezoning is not approved by y'all, then that variance is null and void and valid.
And when you do an alley vacation, the process is that they'd have to petition the council for that alley vacation, so that would have to come in front of you, and and they are required to notify any abutting landowners. So you would get notice if they were to petition to do that.
We won't close any alleys.
Thank you.
I think Dave was pretty adamant about that too at the
Yeah.
last meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, Anitra asked us to abandon an alley for her barn and we said no.
It's an alley that's grown over, and I go in every year, so.
It's just, those are utility focal points for us and I don't want to give those back. I don't want to close them up.
So I don't want people putting structures on them or anything like that if our guys have to get in there. So we won't close the alleys.
Dave was probably here when people did take over the alley.
Yeah, we won't be that.
Yeah, there's a couple still in town
So-
that I've noticed have.
So
yeah.
we need to pass a motion on this, yeah?
So
Now,
you have
does
three
Judith have
choices.
anything
Choice
else?
number one is you can approve it. Choice number two is you can deny it. Choice number three is you take no action. If you take no action after 90 days, it will automatically be approved.
Did you have any other concerns
Were
you
those
wanted
the only
to
two?
point?
Did anybody come here prepared to talk for it or against it?
Just wanna make
Did
sure
you wanna
have-
say something? It's your property.
Well, just what I said, I don't think,
I'm sorry,
Anything's-
I meant the guy that wanted to build
oh,
the
I'm
house.
sorry, pardon me.
I forget your name.
Jamie.
Yeah, we're just wanted to add more houses here. You know, proximity to SIA is why we want to build them. That's our target, is people who work at SIA.
My hope would be maybe with this type of home over there, it will attract different people. They're not gonna be cheap homes.
Could I direct a question to you, sir? Sure. What's your background and can we see some examples of your work?
Most of my stuff would be in Lafayette.
It's all right, we can get there.
I mean, you could drive by 1032 Highland if you want to. That's one that we flipped a long time ago. Not a long time ago. I guess, yeah, it's pre-COVID. 513 Central. There's a bunch of them in town. Now, those are all, have been sold. We don't own.
The first was 1032.
Highland.
Okay, so if you guys want to discuss that, you can discuss that, exchange information, and I don't want to be here till midnight while we go through that, giving you his resume. So,
I will say, I do know him professionally and I do trust that he will do the right thing by our
make a
community.
motion.
So
You'll make a
I want to
motion.
assure you of that.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that we approve the variance
Rezoning.
rezoning.
I'll second that.
Okay, that motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
I,
All opposed? Okay, carries 4-0. We're good
So you're rezoning from I-1
to an R3.
to an R3.
This is the original, so I'm gonna have to sign that, and I'll leave it with you, because on this page here, you have to sign and stamp it. I'm not gonna force you to try to
Okay.
look for all that tonight.
Okay, I'll hang on.
well, we've all
So, yeah,
got,
I'll
we all
just
have to
go
sign
and-
it.
I'll just go ahead and, here, let you go ahead and start that and just pass it around and pass it on down
Do you
to
just want me to drop it off at the office?
that, or I can come get it. You just
I'll
let
put
me-
my building permit.
When do you plan on breaking ground?
We
Yeah,
have,
that's-
the next is the permitting process, so we're working on plans now.
So hopefully by like June, July timeframe?
Probably in July.
Yeah.
Hopefully by June, but I'm out of the country for a couple of weeks.
I just ask that you watch, a lot of kids for a lot of years have used that, like my kids included, obviously they're older now, but no cars ever come down there. So I just ask that you ask your construction, I mean, I know you're shaking your head, but ask your construction guys to be a little more cautious and careful when they're coming down the road, because there are kids who are so used to, for the 18 years I've lived here in that house, they're not used to cars being down there, let alone big trucks, tractors, anything like that. And I would hate to see a kid get hit because the construction worker wasn't paying attention. And the kids weren't either. It's, it's also gonna be their fault, but they're so used to there not being any traffic down there. So I just ask that you ask your construction guys.
Yes.
Did you have anything else for us?
I do not, but there is a young lady here that, her time coming up.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys have anything?
Is she on the,
Is she on the agenda? What's her name?
My name is Shelby Light.
Oh, I never heard from her, so I did not have you on the agenda.
we can
That's okay. It's
still
fine.
we'll let you talk here in a second. Just give me a few minutes. Corey, you're up.
Hi, I'm Corey Faulkner. I'm with United Way for Plain County. I'm the assistant director there. Alicia's on our board. We are looking to place a little free pantry in the Mulberry area. We had been talking with the Methodist Church, but they have a food pantry, so they were not interested in doing that and having one at their location. So I came here tonight to see if there was a place in Mulberry that would be willing to host one of these little free pantries. I did bring some flyers with me with some information. I have a few extras here that kind of talks about, well, you can like take a pass and I don't know somebody's there, but so basically, background story is we partnered with Clinton Central High School in December, and they were doing a community service day, and they constructed 5 little free pantries to display in the rural areas of Clinton County to help with food insecurity. So the purpose of these are to grant access to food for 24/7, more private access for a food pantry. If you've ever seen, I have a picture of an example if anybody needs to see what that looks like, but if you've ever seen the free library books, little stations where they're just a little box with the door, that it's similar to that. So it would be a 4x4 post that would need to be dug and set in concrete, and then it has the box on top. So they've already constructed them. We will be setting up one in Rossville, Forest, Kirkland, and there's another one, Colfax. And then Mulberry would be our 5th location, if there is a place that is willing to host that here in town. So it's just to help. We all remember the SNAP benefits thing going down, and there was a lot of need for food. So this would help take care of that.
So it could be outside.
It'll be outside, yeah.
Okay.
So it's constructed, it's painted, it's got roofing, all that good stuff on it. Clinton Central is putting together a committee of students and staff that will help maintain those food pantry boxes in the county. They will be checked on every month to every other month. They will be also helping supply that food. So if you've seen others around before, it's on the food box, it may say, take what you need, give what you can. That's still allowed to happen, but Clinton Central students and staff will also be participating in making sure those are stocked. They will check in on them. The only thing that we would need is just the post to be trimmed around. And if it were to get damaged or destroyed, you would contact United Way, and then we would come and take it out and get rid of it. So didn't know if there was a location here in Mulberry that would be willing to do that, but we are.
Is it,
Yeah.
York Street.
Probably put it right in front of the police department right over there in the grassy area.
They're close to the flagpole.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a camera also.
Is there?
Shoots south.
Yeah, so this would take place May 21st or 22nd. The school is gathering some seniors to go and put the posts in at these different areas with staff. My husband being one of them, so he's going to take a group of kids and they're going to do a couple locations one day, and then another group will do the rest of them. So if there's a place and you guys approve it, I will let Clinton Central know to put you guys on the map, and we can get in contact with whoever I need to get in contact with, and say, here's when we're coming and the time that we're coming. And like I said, the rest of it, it's pretty simple, just keeping it trimmed. If people want to donate, they are more than welcome to donate any food, non-perishable food items. But yeah, so that's what we're looking to do here in Mulberry.
I'll make a motion that we allow United Way to put the mini pantry, little free pantry, at the Mulberry Police Department.
That motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
All right.
All opposed? It carries 4-0. Just, yeah,
Nick, does locates need to be called in or anything if they're gonna be?
yeah.
You guys take care of that, or will we need to?
Probably you guys will need to do that if possible.
Are you actually like digging in the ground, or are you just
Yeah,
putting like,
full digger to
yeah,
about,
okay.
Foot and a half, probably, foot and a half. And then concrete will go around it.
Yeah, so we'll call in the locates. I would just have them get in touch with Jason.
Okay.
You got a business card or something you can give her?
I think I know him.
Yeah.
I think Austin's got his.
Austin knows him, yeah. If Austin doesn't have his number, he's got mine, so he can call me and we'll.
Yeah, I'll just have him reach out
Yeah.
to one of you two and get that kind of plan and set. 'Cause
Yep.
he's the one kind of taking care of like the scheduling and that I'm just the gal that finds a place to live, so.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Lit. What'd you have that on there for? The
They told me if I-
Munis-
Dave sent out a thing wanting to know if people wanted to join, and I meant to respond. I don't know. Hopefully it's not too late.
Municipal Unit Strategic Task Force.
Yeah, so they're wanting to help with the options for the Senate Enrolled Act 1 cut to lit. It's a state-run program.
They needing like board members? Is that what you're looking for?
No, I think they just want
Or like-
people that want to come and find out what they can do and what options are. I don't think it's anything more than a one-time seminar. He sent it in an email.
I think he may have just sent it.
So I don't remember getting
Yeah, I
an
don't remember
email about
I think
that.
he may have just sent it to me. I'm gonna put it on the agenda.
He was probably planning on being here to talk about it. So
There's a deadline to register.
I'm looking, I don't have anything from Dave on that. What's the deadline? Because if we can table it till he's here, I'd just assume table it so he can talk about it.
It looks like the webinar was Monday, April 27th.
So we already missed the deadline?
Yes.
All right, let's, I'm gonna make a motion to table this until Dave's here to
Second.
go through it further. Motion been made and seconded, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, Joyce Newton.
She's not here tonight.
Okay.
She was going to talk to us about the mural. And she's going to come another time. They're trying to raise as much funds as they can through the Mulberry Community Club and whoever else that she's able to get on board. I'm talking with Creating Spaces. It's an Indiana program that helps with murals and beautification to see if we can get a matching grant that would help whatever we raised up to 50,000. They would match that as well. But so you could get up to $100,000 if you could get 50,000 in donations. But we'll talk about it another time. Because she wanted to come and give a update on where she's at and see what we thought the town's what if the town could help, and if they could, and how much, and what they've raised and what potential we could give. If we can get a matching grant for it, it would be double that. So it would take about $20,000 to $25,000. Roberts has that building that's, is it Sanford and Daughter
Yes.
owns, so that side, they would put a full mural on the side of it, and it would be a collaborative effort to pick what would be on the mural. So people from the town would give suggestions, and it would be a whole thing, and then they'll actually let people come and help them with different little small parts of it, so they could say they had a part in it, and then they would seal it. And then it's the same people that do the Wabash walls in Lafayette. So something to beautify the area, to build connection, you know, and preserve history and all that good stuff. So
So we'll table that as well then.
Yeah, there's nothing more we can talk about it. I mean,
there's no decisions been made. I think she wanted to give us an update and just kind of fill out the board for our,
she's been reaching out to businesses and stuff.
yes.
Okay. All right. So next up then is,
Trainings, right?
I'm gonna do this. ICE. So this was something Jason found out about at a town marshal's training, to where ICE would potentially pay the town money if he were to transport a detainee. At first, we were kind of told that we could get $100,000 for one detainee and up to like $7,000 for everyone transported after that. And this was not going to be a kick indoors and just because we think somebody's illegal type deal. This was going to be somebody got caught breaking the law. ICE put a hold on him. He was going to be trained and his deputies to transport them to a ICE holding facility, and then the federal government would give us funds. But what I found out since just talking to people, I know Lewis has talked to some people, I know I've talked to Jason, I know Lindsay's talked to some people. What I found out since is that some of these small towns that are in this program haven't gotten paid yet. They're not sure when they're going to get paid. The $7,000 transport for every person you transport, that's not accurate. What Jason found out was you're going to get $7,500 per officer you have for equipment and training. The $100,000 for assisting is a one-time fee, so to speak. So it's not like you're going to make an absurd amount of money. And my biggest concern, and this has nothing to do with ICE for me. I know there's a lot of people that have strong feelings about ICE one way or another. I am not one of those people. But what I do have feelings about is utilizing the town's resources to go halfway across the state with the detainee, and then something happened in town and we don't have anybody close by. So I mean, I'm good with tabling it and allowing people to reach out one way or another, how they feel about it. But if the rest of the board is wanting to vote today, I'm going to be a no. I don't know that it's worth it for us. But that's just my opinion.
I'm fine with tabling it. And I think, like you said, one of the big issues is that now, because we cannot take them into Frankfurt, they would have to go elsewhere.
Yeah, when this program was brought to us, hold on a second. The sheriff's department was a ICE holding facility here in Clinton County. So it would have been as simple as you make a traffic stop on somebody, they don't have a driver's license or they're intoxicated or whatever, and ICE has a detain hold on them. Then he puts them in handcuffs and takes them to the sheriff's office here in Clinton County, and ICE does whatever they do to get them later. Well, Clinton County's not taking federal inmates at this time, so the closest would be Brazil, Indiana, and that's probably 2 hours away from here. So that would mean that if he went to take somebody, he would be out of this town for 4 hours. The sheriff's department, I mean, they're our backup, but they could be in Michigan Town or Forest or Kirkland or somewhere 20, 30 minutes away when something happens here, and our marshal's 2.5 hours away with, to me, it's just, I don't see the purpose in it. I don't think it's worth $100,000. And that's the other thing. There's other towns that have, who'd you talk to? Corden?
Talked to
Wolcott said they haven't even been paid yet. So they don't know where the money is.
Well, I've reached out, I emailed, I had a lot of questions. The very first one was Clinton County going to be an acceptable detainment center? They never said yes or no. Now, they did say yes or no on some other questions, but they said an authorized facility. So they didn't say, yes, I could take it to Clinton County or not. And that was before Sheriff Kelly shut the detention or shut that down. So that was part of the decision. I said, so when do we get the money? They said, no money is guaranteed. So you can go through this, you can do this, and you end up with nothing.
And that's in black and white.
Yes.
On the program. It says may be eligible.
There is brochures and fact sheet, but they're very vague. 287G is the program. You can go online and read it. But I did email some stuff. They are not doing bounties. That's been said. I wrote that question to the program that you're supposed to communicate with. They said that is false. what was the other one? Oh, the transport, that they could call us out in the middle of the night. They said that is false. Any communication will come from us, not from them. So if we don't ever call them, then there's no transport for us to do. So you're not on call, so to speak. I can't remember what the third, but I'd be just digest it, I guess, is what you guys said. You're gonna table it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should table it and just consider our options. But I mean, for me, this is one of those things where we said last year, going back to the cell phone tower, we said big decisions like this, we would listen to what people have to say. So putting the facts out there in a public meeting as we know them, which is you're not guaranteed any money, which is town resources are going to be used and we don't even know if it's going to benefit us to do that. And the fact that you're the one that's got to reach out to them, they're not going to reach out to you. Just to me, I'm not against ICE. That's not what I'm saying.
And the biggest thing
I'm
is that,
saying I'm just not sure.
the
Mulberry
biggest
needs to be
thing is
involved.
that it's ICE. Like, we don't want to get in bed with them. We don't, or I don't.
You don't.
Yeah, I
That's
do
it.
absolutely
Yes.
everything I can to keep, there's few things I feel stronger about. There may have been a time when it was regulated, which is what the Constitution says. It says it has to be regulated, but it's not anymore. And I would sooner us try to plead the 10th Amendment and make weed legal in town and set up dispensaries like states do than I would us go with ICE. So you
all know
can
you're-
digest it. You can bring it up whenever you want to. I'm no all the way across the board.
I'm ready to just table this and see if there's any new information that comes across that the board should digest before we vote on it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I support all law enforcement agencies. I just don't know that this is right for us as a small town with one full-time marshal and a couple part-time guys to be dedicating resources to the federal government, with no guarantee of any money coming back to benefit the taxpayers. I don't see what the point of using tax dollars for us to go out of this community and not get any federal dollars in return to help us. So anyways, we'll table that for now. But yeah, if you do feel strongly about it one way or another, feel free to reach out to any of your board members, preferably by email or phone. Not my front door would be preferable. But that happens sometimes. Anyways, how do you make motions to table that, or we just say it's table?
I mean, either way, some municipalities do the formal motion to table, other municipalities are less formal. It's really fine
Just
either way.
table it, and we'll look at it in June, and if nothing new's come, we'll probably just let it die.
Robert's rules are guidelines.
All right, the next on the agenda is Granny's Goodies Bakery Business Apartment. So Granny's is wanting a trash can through her business. The problem is businesses aren't allowed to have a trash can. They got to pay for them themselves. That's the running policy with the town is the trash cans are paid through your utility bill. So they're for residential use. The businesses themselves, so the gas station, the South Fork, the Pizza King, the Mulberry Telecommunications, they're supposed to either pay for their own trash can through TK or go through a different service. She is wanting.
Yeah, for the apartment.
But there is an apartment there.
There's
Yeah,
an
but she's
apartment
wanting
there.
it
It is a
for the apartment.
residential, yeah.
Not, yeah, she's willing to pay for an additional one on her own.
So she wants it for the
For the
apartment,
apartment.
Yes.
but is anybody living in the apartment?
She's getting ready to rent it out, yes.
Okay. So then why are we having this conversation?
Because the issue is that her meter is a commercial meter and not a residential meter, and that falls within our contract with TK.
What's the apartments over here? Are they residential meters above the antique store?
They're commercial.
Do they get their own trash can? No?
What about the,
The ones on Indiana Street or the other
That's
one?
why
was
they
it
use
Indiana?
dumpsters.
what about the 3-unit
Every
house behind the gas station?
House behind the gas, or north of the
They
gas
don't
station.
have, they don't have trash cans.
I mean, if no other apartments are doing it, I don't understand why we would
I
make
just told another
that
business
exception.
with an apartment above them. No. We just told another business just a month or about 2 months ago, a month or two ago. I told that business no, because they're a commercial meter and I don't think SBOA is gonna like that, which is what I told you guys in the email.
I think the reason it came up is because it was the way it was set up before she closed. The previous board had given her a trash can for the apartment, and then she paid for a second one. That's why it's coming up.
Okay. Well, what's the board's thoughts on this?
I think if you do it for her, you're gonna end up having to do it for every business in town.
Yep.
You're gonna set a precedent that you can't get out of.
Lewis, you got anything to say on it?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like everybody else. You can't make exceptions for one person. We did it last time, when it was open and there was a renter before she tried to sell it. And I love to help people. But if like Anitra's saying, there's other businesses that have apartments attached to it and they can't do it. I guess worst case scenario, they just need to tack it onto the rent. So you gotta pay for the trash cans too as part of the rent.
Yeah.
If it's not rented, then you eat that cost just like you do everything else.
So,
Can she not get 2 trash cans for the residents right across the street? Just take one.
That's exactly what I said.
we'll, take a motion here.
I'll recommend.
Make a motion, that we not do it. We're not gonna do trash can for her.
Okay, motion's been made to deny her request for, a trash can to be billed through her utility bill. Yeah, second? Nobody wants a second? Okay, that motion dies. So is there another motion to be made here?
I think I'm torn because we had already done it for her. That is my biggest thing. Like, I feel like we're going back on what a previous board had already put into place for her. I understand where Anitra's coming from with SBOA. I don't want to put us in a bad spot for SBOA. So,
I'm not even talking about SBOA. You're talking about like, what are the apartment, the duplexes, whatever.
Yeah, so, I mean, you have Scott Roberts, who has probably like.
I can't hear what she's
You have Scott
5 or
Roberts,
6.
who has 5 or 6.
He has a storefront.
Jason
He has
has
a storefront. It's the same. Indiana Street has 4 or 5 apartments.
And we don't bill theirs through, they get them themselves.
so the duplexes on Indiana Street don't have their own?
I guess I don't understand what we're having a discussion about. The town's policy is the town's policy.
Yeah.
And you're wanting to go outside that policy.
Because the board,
What is the point of having a policy
Well, you can second the motion.
if you don't, well, it's not gonna pass.
Well, I just don't want to be a motion maker on this one.
So I'm just saying,
I made
there's,
the motion.
You made the motion. I don't want to be the second on it. I want to be the person of record on it.
Joey second.
It's up to you, Joey. You feel,
yeah, I'll second the motion then, to deny that request. Follow the policy. So that motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, that's gonna carry 3-1. I mean, we have to get into a position to where we follow the policy. We just talked about this over the
I don't
weekend.
disagree. I don't disagree.
Well, apparently
I think
you
we
do.
need to sit down and look at where we are with some of these in town and make that, is it clear cut in there? Like,
Well, just like the food thing,
we're talking amongst the board. Is it clear cut in there?
I think you have to, look, is it clear cut that businesses that have to provide their own trash can? Yes. That is clear cut, correct?
From what I understand, yes. And again, like I said, I've already told another business in town that has an apartment above it, that they have to have their resident above it in that apartment pay for their own tow, call and get their own tow, because they have a commercial meter. And
that's
I'm not trying to get into it with SBOA, because I think you guys we're gonna have a hard enough problem
No,
when they come around.
I agree.
And one
I
less
just-
thing we
I
have
have
to do.
yeah.
Sure. But if you start doing it for one person, and don't get me wrong, I love Granny's Goodies, you know, I like Tanya, it's nothing. But if you start doing it for one person, then you're gonna have, how many more commercial meters do we have? And they're gonna come here and they're gonna want the same thing. It's
And
just gonna create a
The
lot of
biggest thing is like, I like Tanya and I'm glad she's coming back to town.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that she's bringing the bakery back. I'm glad that we have that option. But if we let her bill that through her business, like is against our policy, right? And is, I don't know, they got a commercial meter, it's probably illegal in some sense.
Well, I mean, it might violate our contract. I'd have to look at the
Yeah.
contract. But I think the issue is that the contract provides that it's for residential. And
Yes.
because their build is commercial, they don't count as residential.
And so for me to, yeah, so then you gotta do it for Roberts, and then you gotta do it for the gas station, then you gotta do it for every other business around here. And I just,
But I guess if we wanted to do it, we could work on a contract. and change what it is.
Yeah, we can either change the contract or they can do a separate meter that's residential for their apartment. And then the apartment could have a trash can.
Oh, Nick would love that.
It would solve the
Just don't
problem.
love it, putting that other meter in there.
the next step is the Baker Tilly sewer bond.
That was the day if you wanted it on the agenda.
Well, you saw Paula's email about it.
Yes. So that's the one, I have reached back out to Erin, I think is her name, twice, last Friday and Monday. Unfortunately, I hate using the excuse that I'm new and I don't know what's going on, but it is so true.
Sure.
So I have not heard back from her. Basically, I asked her, you know, I don't know what to do, please tell me what I need to do, and I've not heard back from her, so I can reach back out to her again tomorrow morning to find out what needs to be done, but I do think that they need to continue to do the required reporting, because I don't know how to even begin to do that. And I don't think, as much as Brandy knows, I don't know that she's 100% certain on that either. So, again, like I said, Dave wanted it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Brandy, have you heard anything from this Nicole?
Only through the emails, which I just got one, I think like a couple weeks ago, where it was a week ago, and Paula had forwarded it on, and Nicole Grabowski was trying to get in touch with the town of Mulberry about the 2016 sewage bonds. Baker Tilly does our reporting for those bonds, and what they need for the board to do is just sign the agreement that Baker Tilly is gonna continue doing the reporting for us. So we're waiting for.
But I need an agreement to have you guys sign, so that's why
Yeah, and they're claiming they're not getting responses from us, is what their email
So we
is
have,
saying.
till June 30th before we become non-compliant.
I guess so, is what I understand.
So let's,
So I'll reach back out to her
Yep.
again tomorrow, but here's my emails. Again, I missed her first email, so yeah, that one's 100% on me. I probably get 250 emails a day, so I missed the first one, and then I think I caught the second one, and I may have, I don't remember who I forwarded it to somebody or asked somebody. And then I kind of reached out a couple times to you, and then I don't think I heard back from you right away. It's probably like an hour or two.
So
It's not a big deal. So then I started reaching back to Erin going, hey, I don't know what to do. Tell me what. So if I don't receive a response by tomorrow, I'll give her a call instead of emailing. I'm okay doing that.
let's do this.
Okay.
Like, when you get that agreement, if it's something that can't wait till the June meeting to get signed,
I'll give you guys a.
let me know and we can call a special
Sure.
to
Well,
get
we
it
do
done.
need to extend it because we gotta see the wastewater treatment plant project all the way through.
Mhm.
So we just need Alicia to look at the agreement and make sure we're not signing our firstborn
Sure.
children
Because
away.
the wastewater treatment plant won't be done before this agreement runs out. So,
It ran late because we got screwed by Duke Energy.
Yeah.
so we gotta extend the agreement. She'll have to look at it and make sure, and then we can sign it. But we have till June 30th to do all this. So we might have to have a special meeting if, once Alicia says it's okay, it just depends. Okay, DG billing issue, did we send them we sent them a letter, right?
Dave asked me to put it on there,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, no, what we were waiting on is we were waiting on Baker Tilly to give us information. And I don't think we ever got that information. So last month when we talked, somebody was gonna reach out to Baker Tilly and see if we could acquire that information.
Wasn't it?
And I haven't
thought
heard
it was
anything.
Dave as well.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything since then. So until we get that information, we can't really do much of anything because we need the information from Baker Tilly.
Okay, so really we need Dave.
Well, that one's not pressing. That one we can push to the next meeting.
Okay.
Anitra, can you add the DG billing issue to next month, please? Thank you.
All right. So then, is it Miss Myers? Is it Shelby? Yeah. Did you have something for us? Okay, what did you got?
So
Where do you live at? Do you live here in town?
I do. Live here in town on 610 Center Street, right behind the library.
Okay.
Right there. But I was wanting to request a special exception for occupation class 2. I wanted to open an in-home salon. I want to. I've been a cosmetologist for 9 years now. This would not be like a high traffic salon. This would be quality over quantity. I specialize in hair color and curls. And my services average around 3 to 4 hours. I was able to basically,
Are you the last house on Center Street, the greenhouse? Did you just buy that? Yeah. Okay.
Do you have room in your driveway for them to park, or do they have to park in the street?
How's the board feel about that?
I'm fine to make a motion to send a favorable report to the, is it APC or BZA?
BZA.
To the BZA.
We did. I mean, I'm fine with it. We did tell somebody they couldn't do detailing out of their house.
Mm-hmm. No, that was Auto Mechanic, and they never filed for anything. They just were doing it.
Okay.
I think a big issue with stuff like that is when they start taking out everybody's parking on the road.
Yeah.
And when they're using air tools in the middle of the night and people are trying to sleep and they're.
I think if you're not bothering your neighbors and
If
you're
you're
not
doing it in
obstructing
your
traffic,
house.
It'll be like normal hours, right?
You could do dog training in your house.
I don't know what normal hours are, but yes, I meant like daytime, yeah, like typical.
and you don't have employees or anything, it's just you, so there'll be just one client at a time, and so yeah.
I made a motion
I second.
for favorable
Favorable.
review to BZA.
Yep.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? You're good, 4-0.
She just needs a nature to sign her application so that, did you still want to get filed for this month? Yes, okay, so, yeah, so if the nature could just sign her application, have you guys seen it, okay?
Also, so sorry for this communication, guys, for today.
No, you're fine.
Sorry about that, first time doing all this stuff.
Welcome to town.
Thank you.
When she turns that in, email me a copy of it. Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, old business, we had Tim Clark, he's not here, but the contract needs signed, right?
And while we are on this, Nick had called me the other day about the siding at the park, for the building at the park, and said, hey, you brought up a really good point, because we're going through all this ADA stuff. do we want to put money into this when it's not ADA compliant? I said, well, let me talk to Tim. So I talked to Tim, and he's gonna come out and take a look at the building to see if, he said, if it's to a point where we've got to do something or the building's gonna fall in, which is kind of where we are with that building, we can put the siding on. The issue is we have the 2 bathrooms up front that are ADA compliant. However, we do not have an ADA compliant way to get to those bathrooms from the softball field. So, that negates the fact of, because we can't be like, oh, well, load them in your car and drive them around. So we've got to kind of look at that. But what he said we could do, because he knows, we don't have a bunch of money to throw at this right away, is get that siding on, then have it in our plan for a couple of years down the road to maybe just, instead of having, because you don't have to have 2 separate bathrooms, we could take it and make it one, a unisex bathroom, and have it and see if this is why he wants to come look at it. Because he's like, let me look at the layout, see if we could make it a unisex bathroom and make it ADA compliant. So instead of having to completely rebuild, we just kind of redo what's inside there. So, but Tim is going to come out, take a look at it, but we can kind of put that we can kind of put it in a way that, hey, we have to do something now. Because I already told him, like, there's water intrusion, it's an issue. So we can do what we need to do now and then put in our long-term plan to redo the rest.
All right. Okay. Nick, you're up.
Got a lot of stuff in there. Most of it's informational for you guys. But I'll just get straight to the point with some stuff. The bucket truck oil leak and exhaust replacement and some other items on it. It's going to be around $3,900. Honestly, we need it. We got to have it quick, so probably going to go ahead and get that done. We got some new tires on the 2018 and some new tires on the 99, which were much needed. And I put something new on there, just a call out list. Just showing you guys phone rings off the hook, which leads me to wanting to kind of remove my number from the town hall call system.
I think we have to have an emergency number. I think, don't we? Aren't we required by?
Pretty sure we are. I'd have to double check, but
So I also put in a gator quote for the repair of the gator. And that is $8,625. Since that's over 7,000, just looking at, you guys want to do that or not?
Take 6 now. Motion to fix the gator not to exceed $8,700. I made it. You want to second it?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries 4-0. So get the gator fixed and get it back in service.
What'd you say not to exceed?
8,700.
Make sure they know, hey, there's a cap on what we're gonna spend.
Yeah, if it's more than that, they're probably just gonna keep it. Like I don't even really want to spend that, but it's got to get fixed.
Did we skip Colin?
He wasn't on the agenda.
Oh,
Do you need it? Yeah, I need to talk. You need to talk. Now. I'll get you in between Jason and him.
Also, I have a gentleman from Indiana Rural Water that I would like to speak to you guys about utility wastewater treatment plant and the new SBR treatment plant. He's very knowledgeable. He's run a couple of these at much larger cities. So if you guys had any questions about that or wanted any kind of explanation,
he'd be a great person to talk to. His availability is May 15th, 18th, 19th, 22nd, and the 26th through the 29th. So he's got quite a bit of availability there. Something we can do later will probably require some kind of meeting. Just want to make sure you know about that. Then I also was approached by Wildcat Creek Career Cooperative. And basically, they give us somebody that's going into a career field that we could help them in. And they intern with us, and we let them get some on-the-job training and experience. There's a lot of information in there.
Is that a full-time position?
There are rules of how many hours that they need to get, and we just need to make sure we maintain that.
Who pays it?
We would.
No.
But it is a option as well.
Nope. We already did that. We went down that road, not doing it again.
So this is not with the.
Doesn't matter. It's the same program. It's the same principle and the same program.
So these will be high school students, I guess.
Yeah, that's even worse. Just Nick, I'm being serious. Dude, we are not in a position to have an experiment. You need help. I'm going to find somebody that is capable of helping you, not a high school kid trying to get into this career path. 10 years down the road, we get 3 or 4 full-time guys, and we want to take the time to do that and train somebody and teach them. But we just went down this path, and I'm not doing it again. It was 3.5 years of wasted time, in my opinion.
So I get that. I understand that. But the information's there if you want to look at it. Probably not looking into this as that person wanting to stay here or have a career path here.
Right.
It's just mainly getting them that experience before they head to college and get all that stuff.
We need to find an experienced person, which, by the way, are we posting this job description? Did it get posted?
Because apparently it needs to be changed because there's some work.
Yeah.
I put in there what you told me to put in there.
No, I know. We didn't put utility superintendent though. That's him.
I don't know why that's in there. No, I didn't put utility. Did it?
Somebody did because it was on the title.
Yeah.
It said park, streets, and utility
Oh.
superintendent.
Yeah.
This is
That would
utility.
be my fault.
It's okay. I know, and I didn't think about it until you guys all started responding to my email Monday night, and I was like, oh, wait, yeah, no, hold on.
I don't know why that's in there. That's me.
And I wasn't available yesterday to mess with it, so.
So
Is that the only change? Like, can we just scratch that out? and
I
post
will
it?
get it done. How about I will fix it tomorrow and then I'll email you guys.
do we have to have motions to post that, or can?
You can go ahead
And what's
We
the
we already
requirement?
have 2 motions on.
What's the
posting.
required length of time for the post? Because
The required length, I don't know that, I'd have to look. I don't know that there is a required length that we have to have it posted. I think
just because we put this off, so you know what I mean?
No, it needs to
I
get
would,
posted. yeah.
It's
I
not
would
that
rather.
Hold on, it's not that I put it off.
No, I know. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking
We were
about
hiring
us.
for Colin's position.
No, I know. And then we
had a
switched
different-
it.
Yeah, we had a completely different position posted on the internet, on our website. And then you guys came in and said, no, we want to do something different. So then we had to change gears. So that's where we are now.
Right. And then we needed the job description. We've been working on that. My question is, do we have to post it for 2 weeks or can we post it for a week?
I would say do 2 weeks and get as
Okay.
many applicants as you can. I mean,
Okay, that's
the more the
fine.
merrier.
That's fine. I'm just thinking,
Well, we made a motion
Get
and
it done.
voted at the special meeting that once we had the job description, it could be posted.
Yeah, okay.
So
So I just want everybody to be clear on the job description and
Yeah,
not
I don't
having
think there's any state statute that requires you to post it for any specific length of time. I think that's a municipality decision. So if you had a policy, you have to follow that, but I don't think you guys have a policy.
what we're doing is we're gonna hire a streets and parks person and take that off Nick's plate. And Nick's gonna focus at the plant with water and wastewater. He's overwhelmed and understaffed, and we don't have the money to give him what he needs to be in the right position. So that's what we're doing. This full-time person is gonna come in. They'll have Ed to work with as their part-time, and Chuck's gonna stay out at the plant with Nick, and it's gonna be fine.
We just got to get this person hired. It'll be a lot more than mowing.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot more than mowing.
So they'll
Okay.
kind of be like a Nick, but on the parks and streets and parks, however you want to say it.
Yep. All right. So what did you need? Any motions on anything, or you need anything approved?
I just would like to talk about, I sent in something, but I don't know what the job description.
So what I did is I took it and just condensed it down to like the main points. I'm not sure how utility got on there. I really don't know. But,
Yeah, we condensed it down to, I can't put an 8-page job description out. So I put it we condensed it down to 1 page and then like basically I'll post it. It's all streets and parks and pretty much everything you put on there for the most part.
I guess,
I know you do a lot. I know you do a lot.
the meter reading and
that's a water thing now. Meter reading's water.
so my intention of putting that on there is that a lot of that stuff is seasonal that the new person will be doing. And to keep them busy all through winter, the meter reading is gonna help.
So what we did is put on there assist, how do we put it? Assist with water and wastewater as needed.
And
Okay.
this was one of my fears of doing this is that the things that are stressful about this job are water, wastewater related and the majority of the issue and the problems.
Right.
So by just taking mowing and weed eating and sign repair and things like that, that's not going to help a whole lot.
No, because they're gonna be digging for all the main breaks. They're gonna be handling all the above.
Well, you put 8 pages worth of stuff that they're gonna take off your plate.
So the 8 pages was just detailed list of.
Yeah, I know, but like the only thing that she was saying is underwater is meter reading. They didn't take
Meter reading and what else was there? There was something else, Joey.
No, it was just meter reading and
just meter reading, all the
the-
fencing, all the
Sewer
landscaping, all the
sewer
potholes, all the
Oh, yeah.
mowing,
yeah.
all the signs, all the deck, putting the banners on the poles, all that crap. It's, all the Christmas lights up, taking the Christmas light, all that 8 pages worth of stuff is covered in that minus meter reading.
Tree trimming, tree
Tree
cutting.
trimming, alley work,
It's gonna take all that off your plate. and put it
opening
on
up the
somebody else's.
bathrooms, that's part, cleaning the building,
Maintenance of the
plunging the
bathrooms, maintenance
toilet.
of the building. Yeah.
changing oil in the tractor.
And then on top of that, we're gonna take meter or hydrant flushing off too. We're working with the fire department now to take that over and utilize that as a training option for them. So that's something we'll still maintain it as far as if they come to us and say, hey, this hydrant's not working. It's on the town to get that fixed. But that's one less thing you got to do now. And you look around all these other towns, the fire department does it. They're the ones that they're there for them. They're there for them. So they should know how to use it, and they're
The other plus side is they have a hose where they can
run it to the storm
run it.
drain
and-
and not flood people's yards and make them upset.
And we have 100,000 complaints.
Yeah.
That's not your fault.
Thank you.
I'm just saying, like, that's what we're looking at doing. So I know you wanted a full-time person on top of this other one that we had, but that's not in the budget. But what we can do is really understand that you're overworked and stressed, and that's do our best to try to take some of that off of you so that you can focus on what you have to focus on. And this person's not going to be your boss. You're the plant guy. That's you, right? And you're not going to be his boss. He's got all this other stuff. So you don't have to worry about somebody coming in and being your boss or anything like that, right? You still answer the board. That's it. Okay. All right. Did you have anything else?
No, like I said, a lot of the stuff I put on there that I wanted him to take is
It's all there.
Just
Yeah.
it's just condensed.
I still want to put myself in a position where whenever there's an option for them to, well, I can't help you today, sorry, that happened repeatedly over and over. And then I end up still having to do majority of the things.
Well, you shouldn't need help with anything but stuff at the plant. The other stuff is their problem, not yours. That's what you're failing to miss. Like, You no longer care whether the Christmas lights are up because I'm not bitching at you about it anymore. You don't care about the potholes. You don't care about the hydrants getting flushed. You don't care about the leaves in the drain. That is not something I'm getting on you about. I get on that person. That's their job now. So it's not going to make your life more difficult. You just have to understand that, they may have their own set of stuff they have to do that day, but if they don't, because that's the kicker. When we get a person hired, we will sit down and discuss this and get on the same page. The first step is to get a person hired. So that's what we're going to do first. Okay, Jason.
Can I ask Nick a really quick question?
Sure.
On here, you had that you repaired the down signs at 2nd and South Main.
Not yet.
Okay.
To be done at the stop sign.
No, the speed limit sign.
Still there.
Okay, I was asking because on here it says down signs replaced at 2nd and South Main. That was on there but you had that on there last month, so that's okay.
Jason. What?
At the gate at the power at the park, we have the gate that goes back to the well house.
Mhm.
Somebody's constantly parking in there. Nick had to go the other day to go test.
Mhm.
Somebody's on the way, trucks like halfway out, and I said, "Nick, probably don't bring this up."
I think Joey and Nick already talked about that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, we can't have people parking and blocking that gate. We have to be in there at any time. It could be a Saturday, Sunday, so if something could be done about having somebody blocking.
Is it posted that they can't park?
No.
No.
Do we have something, and then I can enforce it if I see a non-town vehicle?
We can get something.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned if we have to carry something in there, we can't get by because our cars and we don't know who it is.
I saw
Black-
today like a green car or something.
and black truck parked there.
Well, you don't know who it is because you didn't walk across the street and ask the guy that lives across the street who's parking. You decided to call me out in a public meeting.
Well, I didn't know.
So that's
anybody
okay.
parking there. When it's done-
My kids' friends park there because my driveway is so narrow and they walk in. No, stop. I'm talking. They walk in because it's so narrow. If you have a problem with it, you can tell me. You guys got my number, Nick. And by the way, you're the boss. I want to hear this crap from you, not him. Am I clear on that? If there's a problem with the way something's run, I don't want to hear about it from Josh Blackwell. I want to hear about it from Jason Allball. I want to hear about it from Nick Fickle. That's what I want to hear. If there's a problem where people are parking at a public park, by the way, with no parking signs posted, you need to bring that to the board or bring that to the boss, and the boss bring it to the board and say, this is a problem for me to do my job. Because he's the one that parks there that goes in the well house. And if it's a problem, which I've told him in the past, sometimes my kids park there. If it's an issue, let me know. Right. That's why you leave it to the boss to bring that stuff up instead of embarrassing a board member in a public meeting.
Official.
We done?
We didn't know we did.
Are we done?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jason.
I want to give Nick some kudos. I think he finally got a hold of somebody that he knew kind of on the side to get the pole taken care of today finally. He had filed a claim with Comcast. I filed a claim with Comcast. I called Duke again. I probably have over 5 hours trying to get that pole that's been Maine and Jackson. I mean, to get it removed, and it was getting bad to where it looked like it was going to fall. Today, they finally did. As soon as they undid the wire, that thing they had a rope tied to it, and it came down like that. They are going to come back. There's we'll call it a stump. They didn't have the tool to be able to pull it out of the ground, so they said that they would come back with another work order. I said, seriously, we got to call back again. And they go, well, and I said, dude, don't leave here without either promise to come back and take this out or don't leave, you know what I mean? Because it took forever, 2 months to get you guys here now. And they said they would promise it. We will come back and remove this. I said, okay. I said, leave the cones around it so someone don't run into it again, because I guarantee you that'll happen. So I'm pretty sure, because I asked Nick if he had heard anything, and I'm pretty sure his inside guy got it moving. So kudos to Nick. So anyways, that wasn't on that just happened like an hour before the board meeting. So that's why it's not on my minutes. Steve and I finished Marshall's training. We got all of our mandated hours done for the year, but obviously still training in other areas. We already talked about, the 287, received a grant for the AD and the N70, and another radio that actually works up here. And many of you don't know, but we've been operating off of one portable radio. We've been sharing it between the three of us. We've got another one. It just came in today. I'm taking the Motorola to get programmed tomorrow, so it should be, I don't know how long they'll have it to program, but hopefully by next week it'll be operational out in the field. All that needs to be kudos to Steve. There is going to be some kind of big press release and whatnot with this that the Community Foundation wants to be part of. They're going to have some kind of one of those big paper checks, and but they wanted to wait till the AEDs came in along with the radios so we could pose those along with the check. So I'll get back with you so board members can get the photographs with it too and whatnot. So it's a big deal. And so we got 3 AEDs and this radio, a little over $15,000 grant. That helps us immensely. If you guys remember, I think I was here a month and I was begging for AEDs. I've been begging for communications. So some big check boxes off my what I need, what I wanted kind of list. So anyway, and Steve was instrumental in that. And then he just told me the other day through the Criminal Justice Institute, basically he just had to submit a form, which I was not aware of this. And he's got 2 brand new PVTs, which is a preliminary breath test instrument, a portable test, brand new ones that are coming to our agency. So don't know when we'll be getting those, but those were no cost. All you had to do is fill a form out, which he did. And so he's
What kind are they? Are they the,
I have no idea.
Yeah, do you guys have to get certified on those?
No,
Or
it's just,
okay, I
it's
wasn't
just a
sure.
probable cause finder.
Yeah.
But Steve did get certified in SFSTs and blood tests. What was that, August? Not
Yeah.
August, March, I mean.
Yeah.
So we took care of that just a month ago. I did have to have the generator looked at. Many of you know the power went down about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Rossville went down also. I heard it was something over in Lafayette, some transfer station. When I got this, first time I've ever been at the police department when the power went out, and I was like, oh, great opportunity to see, does the generator work? The garage door open, the bay, all those lights work, hallway light work, go in the office, the light work, but none of the equipment worked. So none of the computers, the telephone, go back in the back room where basically the brains is. That's the IT stuff for the routers, the docking stations for the camera system for the cars, basically all the IT stuff. None of it worked. So I got a hold of Baker, who we had a contract to service it. They sent a guy up and we were able to identify what circuit ran all the stuff that wasn't working. And it was just one circuit. He rerouted that wire. About half hour he was here and we're back operational. So we do have heat during the winter and all of our phones and computers and everything will work if we're in a disaster, which what we would need. So the comm that's in there, the radio that's inside the station is functioning. So anyway, and he told me that was just going to be considered our service call for the year. So I think the year before that was $180. So we've got the service of the generator taken care of and we're operational. And my very last thing is I just wanted to talk about the numbers. They're in there in the Excel sheet under stats. Our calls have went up immensely here in Mulberry, and a large portion of that is I've started doing the ordinance, grass and that type of stuff. And I've had great compliance. Gordy, I'm still working. I just talked to Bella, or I left a voicemail. They've got some fencing put up. The cars I've talked to them about. So we'll give them another month, and if not, then by the board time, hopefully everything will be in compliance because that's been, I think, 90 days by the time you filed the first complaint. So hopefully that one down on Wyandotte. But if you've got an issue with the yard or whatnot, file a complaint, or just better yet, call up, leave a voicemail. But most of the stuff, I'm being pretty proactive. I'm not waiting for a complaint. There were some that came in and I'd already given warnings. And within the day that the complaint came in, they'd already been in compliance. So it's been a tough season already to mow because of all the rain. I mean, you plan on mowing and then it's just been not a great season. But give you an example, last month, just mulberry calls, we had 34, we had 51 already, 51 this year, so, or 51 this month. Last thing, I did have to replace the battery in car 17-2, the deputy's car. It actually caught Josh Blackwell, he shut it off, and it was dead. It died in the shop, so definitely, it had a Napa battery in it, and it had a 3-year warranty. I was like, yes. So I go in, they pull up, I couldn't find any paperwork on it, but it was in their computer. It was 3 years and 2 months old. So I kid you not. So 2 months we had to pay, I think it was $200, $250, something like that for a brand new battery. It was what it was. So I got another 3-year warranty, but hopefully now because it would start acting up 60 days ago. So if I'd have just when it first started acting up, if I'd have took it in, we'd have been in warranty. But we thought the radar had been left on, those type of things, and is what the problem was. So that's all I had. The numbers are pretty consistent. Busiest day of the week is Wednesday and Thursday still, basically from 3 to 9.
All right. Council members, Randy.
Nope.
Lindsay.
Yes. I wanted to make a public announcement that my husband does plan to put in for the Parks Department position. I feel like he has a lot of he's been with the city of West Lafayette for 11 years in that same type of position. I feel like he can be a great asset to the town. I wanted to be very transparent and open about this, that if anyone in town has an issue with me being on the town board, which I would not be involved in any of the hiring process, I would remove myself from anything involving his budget or anything to do with his department. I encourage anyone that is for or against this, for me staying on the board, to reach out via my email that is on the town website. I want the public input. If I need to step down from the board, I absolutely will, because I feel like he can make a bigger impact in the town in that position than I can here on the board. So. Yes.
Okay. Nick, parking at the park. Let me reiterate, just follow up on this a second as I thought about it. If you got places you need people not to park, like we've talked about before, we need to post that. But that is a public park that anybody can park at any time. You ought to see it on a Saturday on opening day. They were all the way down Gasline Road and in the middle. So the bottom line is if you need to post signs in a specific spot that you don't want cars parking, then we need to do that. Otherwise, they're going to park where they park. It's a public park and they're allowed to park at a public park. And that's not just for people visiting my house or any house that's in that area walking distance. If they want to park there, they can. And then as far as Lindsay's statement goes, I just want to go on record, and this is not a knock at Lindsay or anything like that, but I do not support whether it's legal or not legal. I don't support a board member and a department head from the same municipality. I know in Colfax, there's one of the board members, her husband's the town marshal. And then I think in Kirkland, there's the town clerk. Is her husband on the?
He's the
utility guy. But so I think it's big of you to step up and say that you would step down if Tom gets hired, and that would be what I would be looking for if he does get hired. However, I'll go on statement as well saying that just because a board member's husband's putting in for the job, we will hire the best, most qualified person to fill that position. So that is where I'm at with it. So just want to go on record saying that. I'm going to skip you, or I'm going to hold you for a second because I forgot to go to him. Ian, go.
Sorry.
Sorry.
He's sitting there so
No,
patiently
it's fine.
waiting,
I knew
like,
I was on the agenda because I got something kind of last second we were working on, but I did want to come and give you guys an update. CCG again, is evolving and changing. They have pushed the application window to September this year, which is good because it gives you more time to think about what you want to do. And on that, we have completed your study for the Madison Street. We talked with Nick. We were out on Monday or Tuesday looking at the street again to see the current condition, and we talked with Nick with a couple other things that make sense to probably add in. And I did bring an agreement, but I do not expect any movement on it or anything. It's just more for your review.
Gordy, did you get crack sealing done down there yet?
Down,
On one
we'll
guy?
get to that. We'll get to that.
I know that a year ago.
Well, there's a reason I didn't get done.
Okay.
Yeah, always a reason. I'll tell you. So I'll go ahead and hand this out, but this is basically for the whole run from 38 down to 4th Street, down around the curve by the park down there. This is the scope of the work would be putting an enclosed storm sewer from 38 down to gas line to help with the drainage problems on the north end of Madison Street. And then south of gas line down to the curb would be a mill and pave, and also fixing a couple drainage issues down on the east side of Madison Street as well.
Say that again?
Yep. So from 38 down to gas line, we're going to do a whole new storm sewer and close the storm sewer, new pipes, help get the water off people's yards and the road.
Gas line down to.
Then from gas line down to the curve, we'll do a mill and pave. Probably take off 2 inches and deep patch some areas that need to be deep patched.
Why not just take the curve and go back to Jackson? It's only.
Well, we can if you want.
It makes sense. Like,
Yeah, you can. I mean, that doesn't really add anything.
so what is that, like maybe 300-400 feet?
Yeah, we can do that. I think this is the time we were looking at it was just from the curve up, but that can easily
Nick,
be done.
what are your thoughts?
If you want to do the curve, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
It's.
it
I
makes
know
sense.
it's still Madison Street, isn't it? Or what is that?
No.
No.
It turned to
It
fourth
turns
on
to
the
fourth.
curve.
Yes.
So the
Very
pavement,
frustrating.
yeah, the pavement, there's a pavement change right there too, so that's why we just kind of stopped there. But we can easily add that. It's not a big problem. As long as there's not any-
I feel like it would match better going that route.
Sure. So we can get that in.
Okay.
But the big kicker is this project is a lot more on the north end, doing the storm sewer is a lot more detailed than the usual project that we do with a mill and pave and simple, we call it simple design for getting the plan sheets ready. The storm sewer needs hydraulic design, full survey, and then so the cost of that is obviously a little bit more than our usual CCMG. We anticipate probably the project being a little bit more as well, just because the storm sewer costs more, that kind of work. So you're probably looking at more of a $700,000 to $800,000 project. 20% of that would be town local match for the whole stretch. But we can design the whole thing, get your cost estimates, and you can decide what you want to do. If you don't want, we can phase it out. We can do the north end and then do from gas line to 38, and then you can do.
We only budgeted 60,000 for CCMG.
So that's fine. If you want, and me and Nick kind of talk, if there's something else you'd rather do this time around, that's fine as well.
What if we just did the north, I would have to break this all down.
Yeah.
If we just did that storm sewer up there.
Yeah, that's, and a lot of that is, you can kind of look at so all the survey, that would be the north end, the roadway resurface design would probably obviously go way down. The water and sanitary design, that is pretty much the storm sewer. So a lot of this contract is really that north end.
Right.
But the inspection would obviously go down to, and that's just an hourly. We use it if we're only out here charging it when we're out here. So that one's an hourly, but I know it's a lot more than it usually is, and I just wanted to bring it to you and have you look at it, and I'm happy to discuss the project more, or there's a different project you want to do, or if you want to do, make sure we phase it out, we can phase it out.
When the storm drain, it's hard to take water out of 4 yards right there.
The yards on the north end. So, yeah, we're looking at that. Some of that is tough for us to get into because that's actually somebody's property. And we usually, CCMG only pays for your right of way. So if you're going outside, really, you're.
If you get that drain to drain there.
Yeah, we're looking at it. We did a whole study. We've looked at it. We're hoping that getting the water moving will help the problem on the north end as well. And I think a lot of the problem is the water gets clogged up in those small little ditches there. And the pipes get clogged up. So we're hoping that this flush it out and let it go. And then,
Flood there, and the yard here's flooded, yard here's flooded.
so it's just, I'm happy to, I'll probably come back next month. And if you guys have any other questions about it, I can talk about it. If there's something else you'd rather fix, I know we looked at a couple other streets, Greeley and a couple other before. So if it makes sense to do a different, just a mill and pave kind of project and save up, that's fine. But I just wanted to give you the magnitude of what it would probably cost to fix that whole run. Yeah. And again, the majority of the cost is the north end.
That would be right at 162,000 on our end for the match.
No, that is the
for 800,000.
So be about 800,000. We would find out the exact cost estimate of that. But that would be your 80-20 match would be for the construction. CCMG does not pay for engineering fees, unfortunately. So any of the soft costs is not included. That's the bummer with CCMG.
We'll have to look at that and see, because like you said, we only got 60 grand budgeted. We ain't gonna be able to do much for 60 grand.
And just give you a heads up too, this project would be for next year. So I don't know if that helps at all either, but you wouldn't have construction starting until next year.
Well, we have CCMG this year, right?
Well, you apply for it this year, but the actual construction will be next year.
Did we not get awarded any this year?
This year.
So
we could roll over this year and what potential we've got for an MVH next year.
Yeah. Just something to think about. I think
Yeah, that'd be nice, because then we know what we could budget that exact amount with that 60 grand plus whatever.
Yeah.
Plus another 80.
I guess we need options. That way we can figure it out when we start hammering out the budget in July.
Yeah, once you figure out the budget, then we can probably rework this if you only want to do a phase of it, and then we'll fit it within your budget.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep. Anybody got anything else for Colin?
Oh, and then Wyandotte. So that section was not, that's on the east end, right?
West side.
West side.
West side.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking that way. Yeah, on the west side there. So I did look at that, and I was telling Nick this too. That section for some reason was not included in the contract. CCMG did not pay for that to get done.
Ain't nothing happens that in.
I mean, nothing at all happened?
Yeah.
Hang on. Or you live there, that's right.
They paved it. They paved it out to the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
But then they came back on all these roads that they paved and they crack sealed them. And they left two sections out. The one out east,
I went out there and looked at that
in front of her house that they fixed, and then in front of Gordy's house. And you've been telling them for like a year to go fix it, and they haven't gone out there and fixed it, which is concerning because we're already through winter. So there's probably plenty of water underneath there that froze. And
yeah, there was a section of Wyandotte, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but there was a section that was not included in their contract.
So why would they pave it?
They didn't pay. That was another company on a different CCMG project.
For the railroad track or something?
No, this was when we
Like
replaced
2 years,
Wyandotte.
3 years ago.
3 years prior to it actually getting crack sealed, or a year before it actually got crack sealed. So the CCMG project, when we did the crack seal, that was its own project with a different company. And the Wyandotte Road from that spot to the railroad track was not on the actual contract.
Why would we not have included that on
It just got
a crack seal
missed
that?
or looked
was-
at.
How much is it to crack seal?
for that small of a section, under probably $4,000. The biggest cost is in mobbing in to come do the work.
Okay, so let's say,
$4,000 to $5,000. No, like $4,000 to $5,000 for that section.
so let's say,
The biggest cost is.
let's
just
say we do
getting
this next CCMG project. Is there a way
100%.
that can get worked in? Because at that point, it might need to just be fixed altogether. If we go through another, if we go through another, if you go through another winter without those getting crack sealed, and it's wet, and it gets cold, it's only gonna get worse.
We can definitely add it in the next CCG. It's gonna be such a low cost compared to everything else that you can get it in. It would just be a different application because it's a different work type. So you have preservation and road resurfacing. So that's a preservation application.
I wonder if we could just do it and use some of the money we budgeted for CCMG this year to pay that $4,000 and then roll the rest over to next year's
Just because
CCMG.
we're tied on MVH, what we can spend, we can't pay salaries out of it. We can only use it for.
So we could use it for a road repair, right?
100%.
So
So the guy's name is Chris Oakes, works for Pavement.
can you get us a quote?
Yeah.
Because if he'll do it, we could try to get
Or
it
do we
done.
want to see if we can find it cheaper anywhere?
Well,
Yeah.
the other company that was supposed to do it, was that Crenshaw? No?
Michigan.
There's only a couple.
Is Chris off the Michigan? I thought they were in Jefferson.
You mean the
Who's in
They're
Jefferson?
the one to the right, the
Pattis.
actual road?
Pattis is in Jefferson.
About the road surfacing.
Well, I remember they were the ones that were doing the speed bumps and some of the other stuff, right?
That was DC construction.
Let's do C, and then, we only use them to help patch for like main breaks or if we do a water tap.
Okay.
Patch the road, they don't do the.
We got a blacktop company just outside of town. Go to blacktop.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt us to get competitive quotes, not that BFNS isn't competitive.
Well, we're not doing the work, but
I mean, it's
I'll get
business,
you a
right?
quote. Yeah, I can reach out to Chris Oakes. There's not a lot of people that do this type of work.
Especially if you got people right here that don't have to move all your equipment in. Over half.
Yeah. I mean, if you have somebody locally that can do it.
And he can do steel coating and all that stuff.
This is yeah, it's a little bit different, but yeah, we can call and see.
Can you give me a quote from your guy?
Yeah.
And then we'll try to get it done for Gordy as quickly as, because we do have the money for CCMG, and if we're not using a CCMG this year, we're just gonna roll it.
We also have money budgeted for street repairs and
I
alleys and
don't
stuff like that too.
I don't have a problem taking $4 or $5 out of that. Yeah, getting that fixed. Gordy's been asking for it for a year. We need to not make him wait another year.
You got it.
He's just gonna keep coming and yelling at me until I get it done.
See what I can get.
All right,
Thank you, and I'm sorry I'm not on the agenda.
Lewis.
Yep. All right, so I think I can go fairly fast. I got two things that I'll put on my water commissioner hat for, and two things that I'll just do as your affable, gregarious, extremely handsome council member. So in our present time, things are depressing with gas prices and all that other stuff. I was thinking about the Hometown Hero program, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but I'd like to recognize at the next meeting Becky Cole from the Mulberry Girl Scouts for 12 years of dedication to helping the girls and being a good example. I plan to bring a resolution making Becky Cole a hometown hero from the town of Mulberry. The other thing, no reflection on you, Colin, I've been thinking about for a while, and I talked to Carol Bartley at Frankfurt too. I think we need to look at implementing like a 48-hour deadline to adding things to the agenda. So like feels a little more transparent. And I guess if there's an emergency. But I think we ought to look at having a hard cutoff, and it should give help for Nitra too, not having to try to cram it all in on Tuesday or Wednesday before we come in here. I would be fine if we said, this is almost more than 48 hours, at least business hours. If we said, hey, if it's not in by Friday before the meeting, then it's gotta wait till the next meeting unless it's a extreme urgence, can't wait, emergency, whatever, and then just cap it. Unless you wanna wait, actually do it on Monday or whatever, but I'd like to see that. That gives everybody plenty of time to look at everything, and then you're not coming into the meeting wondering, do we add that? Do we not add that? And anybody can bring it up under, if it's coming from a council person, any of us can bring it up during this time right here. But that helps. And then I think maybe people don't try to feel like we're trying to slide stuff in without them knowing about it. Now I'm going to put on my water commissioner hat. So Joey already alluded to this. So I've been talking with the township about the water hydrant flushing, and talking with, I've talked to all 3 board members of the township, and then they talked with Blaine Butler, their training supervisor, to see if those guys would come in and do it and see if we can knock it out in one day. Then there's not multiple days of people running their water and trying to get it all to clear up and adding all that extra to their water bill. And then at the same time, they can put their hoses to it and pump it directly into the drain. There's no flooding yards. There's no streets that you hydroplane on or anything like that. I'd like to, when we look at the fire contract this year, add that as one of the requirements to the contract, that they do that. We plow the snow for them. We mow the grass. Not trying to be a bad neighbor, but this is in their wheelhouse. This is what Frankfort does. It's what a lot of the towns do. Their fire department makes sure they're operational and does the mandatory flushing, and take that off of the plate of our utility people, and hopefully, get the water away from people's yards and garages and all that. This last one, I'm not really going to get into it. I'm just going to mention it, but I plan on revisiting next month. I like to talk about us reworking our policy to allow for an emergency reconnection fee. Joey and I talked about a little bit today. Make it steep so that you don't have everybody and their brother wanting to do it. But if there is an issue where somebody comes in and they have a dire need and they definitely need their water turned on, to pay for the overtime, all that stuff. And if you, like Joey was saying, if you make it high enough, everybody's not going to try to use it. But I just hate the idea that there might be someone that dropped the ball, that screwed up maybe, and didn't get their water turned on, and now they've got issues and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do because medical and everything else. So I'm not going to, like I said, we don't need to hash it out. It's already been an hour and 45 minutes, but I'll just revisit it next month. But I wanted to mention that's coming. So just circle back to the first one. I haven't reached out to Becky and her husband on the hometown hero thing. I wanted to bring it up here. Wanted to make sure there's a consensus. I don't want to embarrass them, bring them up here and us vote on the resolution and people be like, no, I'm not interested. So I just am looking for a consensus to invite them to be a hometown hero, and we will have to officially approve the resolution next week.
I'm fine with it.
Okay,
Okay, will you give me the information then?
I will.
And I will make a resolution.
We have a whole month.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Mitra.
All I need is, that I can think of, is that I need the board's approval, probably a motion to write off a
Yep.
66-cent bad debt. We can only collect or the cutoff for the Trex collection is $25. So we're not gonna get 66 cents. So I need,
I'll make a motion to write off a bad debt of 66 cents.
Second.
Motion been made, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carries 4-0. That all you got?
yeah, I think so.
Alicia.
I've got 3 things that I got done today, so I'm sorry I didn't get them to you sooner. The first one is I revised the baseball contract to change the maintenance provision so that the baseball folks would maintain the structures that they're using. I don't know if you want to approve that today or if you want to take a look at what I changed. But that is available for you. The biggest change was the maintenance provision. The second thing I have is I was asked to do an ordinance to prohibit alcohol and tobacco in the park. So I've got that ordinance for you. Again, don't have to do that today. You can take a look at it and let me know if you want changes. The biggest thing that I need feedback on is I put a $500 fine. I don't know if that's what you want or if you want something else. So if we want a different fine, I can change that. Third thing I have is I was requested to do an ordinance allowing side-by-sides to drive on city or town streets. So I do have an ordinance for that. It's similar to our golf cart ordinance, but it does meet all of the requirements of state statute. So again, doesn't need to be passed today, but those are available for you if you have questions or you want to.
We have to pass these on 2 different readings, don't we?
We do unless you suspend the rules and do it on one.
Anybody have a problem with either one of these ordinances?
Nope.
Who wanted the park one?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
There was a lady that contacted me from, was it Healthy Communities?
I don't want to do that yet.
Yeah,
because
I don't
the
want-
board knew nothing about that.
well, they, he was talking about
Did
it.
he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
you, I don't think you were here, you're in Florida or something. But here, when we talked about this, like, I got 2 issues with it right now. I don't want to vote on it tonight, but the first issue is, we're still talking about whether or not we're thinking about letting people have parties with alcohol in the shelter house.
They would have to have.
Yeah, so we need to include in the ordinance, if we wanted to allow them to have alcohol in the shelter house, we'd have to put
And then
that in the ordinance.
and it
We
has to
can
be
do
like a
that.
Dora, whatever.
Well, you don't have to do a DORA for that necessarily, but you do have to have like certain requirements met. So they'd have to make sure that they have security. They'd have to make sure that they, had someone who was a licensed bartender, things like that,
And
are what I usually.
The second thing is Dave was sitting here the last time this came up and he's like, it's one thing if somebody's blowing their cigar smoke, in a kid's face up there. But I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to go watch these games that are there for hours at a time.
I've always seen like the parents step to the side and they step away from.
But do they start going in the cornfield now, in the farmer's field, walking around
No.
to smoke? Or I'm saying, will they though? If they're like, oh, I
Usually
can't.
get to the edge of it. Like they're not.
But they're still technically on park property.
yeah,
This,
it's
I
on
mean,
park.
this doesn't.
The other thing you could do if you wanted to is you could create a designated smoking area. Some communities do that where they'll say, here's the smoking area in the park. But what I have in
You
this,
can't chew while you're there watching.
Yeah. what I have in this is all forms of tobacco. So we would have to decide if we wanted all forms of tobacco, including, smoking, vape, and chew. And how to enforce chew, I would not know. I would not know how to enforce it, but.
I don't want to make a rule right off the bat when we haven't had issues. We haven't had people calling, complaining. Jason's not had to go down there. Like, I hate making laws.
That's what I was getting ready to say. If you weren't at the meeting, but the lady, I'm pretty sure it was for Healthy Communities, called and said, hey, what's your policy on the parks? We can help pay for signage and all this. And I said, well, let me stop you there. I've received 0 complaints. I've been at that point, that's been a couple months, but I said about 1.5 years I've been here and I've received 0 complaints on any of this. But I said, I'll take it to the board, and if they want to, then they want to. And that's kind of where it was left, and that's what you're hearing. But I think that's been, 2 months, 2
Oh,
months?
it's been a minute because it's been tax season.
Yeah, so I mean,
I was gonna say, it's been a while.
unless
So-
people start complaining about it and they're constantly stepping and chewing tobacco or whatever, I think just leave it alone.
I mean, I'm new to your community, but have you guys ever had a complaint that you're aware of, any tobacco or whatnot?
Not that I'm aware of.
So, I mean,
To be clear, there is no alcohol ordinance either.
yes, there's not.
So we don't have an alcohol ordinance or a tobacco ordinance. So if we do want to regulate that in any way, we would need to have something. But if we want to allow it at the shelter house, we can put certain provisions and rules in there if you wanted to. But it's completely up to you. Just let me know.
I'm all for,
Let's
I
think,
think there's state statute to deal with problem people that are causing alcohol related issues.
That's what I was getting ready to
Yeah.
say. There's,
I mean, maybe
I mean-
public intoxication.
Yes, I mean, so
Completely up to you guys.
I don't like creating, personally being law enforcement, I think we already have too many laws the way it is, and then continue
So
creating
just
more.
leave it alone, and if we
Yes.
start having issues, then we address something.
That's just me personally. So.
all right, how about the side by side? Can we get through that? Cause that, it's getting to be nicer weather and I think we should have something to regulate what is the side by side and
Will it have to be inspected just like the golf cart?
Yes.
yes.
Yes, it has to meet there are
I
two.
thought
Not by me.
Yeah, it goes through the B&B. I thought we decided we weren't gonna do,
We want to, okay, well, in that ordinance,
those-
I had it just like the golf cart.
okay,
So I'll
the
need to
side
change
by
that.
sides get registered with the B&B.
Yes.
Okay.
And they gotta
I'll have
be
to change that
re-registered every 3 years.
Okay, I'll have to change that then.
You can't drive them to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, can you?
No, you take your.
No, you can.
Well, I mean, technically you could, because they can go on county roads. The side by sides can.
Okay,
But
Can't drive them on state highways.
so I'll need to make some changes to that then because I set it up exactly like the golf cart one.
I don't, I just know what,
My understanding was the board did not want me to have to inspect them and collect fees and so forth. They already do that.
I mean,
with DMV.
yeah.
So
I'll
it'd
have
be
to
kind of
change
like
that then.
double beaming.
I'll have to change that then.
whereas golf carts don't get inspected by the B&B, so.
I don't have an issue with that one.
And I have had golf carts that I had not
Yeah, I
passed
do.
because
Okay.
lighting, brakes, that type of stuff was not correct.
Okay, well, let me make some changes to that then, because that will change that fairly substantially, and then I'll bring it back to the next meeting and we can get that.
We can't drive like four wheelers or dirt bikes, but like a side by side that has seat belts and all that.
Get all the way to there?
Yeah, you
On the
go,
back roads,
go
yeah.
Farmers Gravel to 200 West, right to the B&B.
But,
Sure could.
yeah,
You can cross the highways at 90 degrees.
Mhm.
yes. So like from here, if we wanted, like if you wanted to go north, you could cross over 38, but you just
Oh.
can't turn on to 38.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, public comment. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, what are you? Oh, Judith Hansel. Thank you. Judith South Reading Street, Hansell. How many more households can be connected to the water? At one point,
So
years ago.
we have, right now you have what, 440?
468.
468, and this new plant, we should be able to double.
Okay,
That's kind of right, like the idea. But if you double, like you're back at max capacity again, like where we were
Yeah,
before.
The truth, honestly, the truth is that the infiltration of rainwater actually is what's gonna dictate if we can put more people up to it. Right now, we're good and we're outside of the early warning ban on the sewers. And we've gotten out of that and we've increased our capacity greatly. But the more people that we add, then the more the I will affect and the closer we'll get to once again be over capacity. So
I mean, there's opportunities for a couple smaller subdivisions that may bring 70 to 100 new homes at some point in the future. That couldn't be out of the realm of possibility, but I don't see us doubling in size, not without significant infrastructure upgrades.
my memory was a few years ago, you said, we're about maxed out.
We were.
We were.
And I also want to thank you, Nick, for all your work and your patience and your organization and your just showing up. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, I'll entertain, Gordy.
Oh, there we go.
I want to know how it's going with annexation.
Well, we were waiting on,
That's more money coming
Yeah,
into
yeah.
town, right?
yeah, no, it is. We're waiting on that billing issue to get cleared up so that then we can annex them.
So we're waiting on Baker Tilly, basically.
We're waiting on the Baker Tilly.
It's not gonna be a whole lot more because they're already paying us,
Right now, they're actually paying a higher rate.
they're paying
for
a
our-
higher rate right now for their water and sewage.
But they're gonna have to,
We'll get property taxes once they
Talking
get
about
in.
DG,
But
their law is, I've said something to them, but I can't enforce it because they're outside our jurisdiction. It's like this.
shouldn't be too much longer, I hope. We'll see though.
I'm surprised Mike has let it get that way.
Any other public comment? Seeing none, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Yeah.